So total salads they make 158 a day. For the entree salads, 45 sides, 149 sandwich wraps, 298 sandwiches. So they move 650 pieces of prepared product every day, and then some. Blanchard Cafe and Uncommon Grounds. In that particular operation, we serve around, depending on the meal, but it's between 650 to 700 for lunch and 800 plus for dinner. And they do a lot of prep. As you can imagine, the sliced deli meats is 300 pounds, sliced cheese is 152 pounds, and this is a weekly production. Sliced tomatoes, 335 pounds. Soup's 140 gallons a week. Pizza's 350 a week. Gourmet cookies over 1,000 weeks, scooped and baked. They get the cookies that you see up in the coffee bar, they get in the big containers that we prepare in the bakery, raw dough. It's shipped to them and they scoop it and bake it. Falafels, 250 a week. Tuna salad, 175 pounds a week. Slicing rolls for your sandwiches, 1,050 a week. And it takes one cook about 2 hours a day to stock the cook's line and the server because there's that many items that have to be stocked for all of those stations. And it takes 3 hours of labor every Monday through Friday to put away and receive orders. As you can imagine, the receiving orders, the loading dock is pretty full sometimes. And that kitchen wasn't necessarily built for what it's doing now. It was not supposed to be on the board plan, by the way. It was decided the summer before we opened that it was going to be on the board plan, which was a good thing. But it wasn't built to do that. So it's been a lot of maneuvering and kind of figuring out how to deliver product and get it there and so that the staff can handle it. Our bakery, 1 day's production. I just took a random day. Date nut muffin mix, 45 pounds. Date nut muffins, 8 dozen. Coffee cake, 37 each. Apple strudel, 23 each. Cookies, 54 dozen. Peanut butter bars, 15 pans or 960 pieces. Grinder rolls, 11 dozen. Focaccia rolls, 3 dozen. Water rolls, 3 dozen. So all of these are just, for the various components of the campus. Chocolate chip cookie dough, all of the various cookie doughs, 60 pounds per day. Then they do birthday cakes and all that kind of stuff for the sophomore birthday cake program. In our warehouse, we receive almost all of our product there, with the exception of our some of our dairy products, our fluid milk, and our bakery products and produce. Everything else then is delivered to the warehouse. So our grocery items, our meats, and November purchases that were received, shipped, and prepared and served were 2,260 pounds of beef, 2,072 of pork, 10,764 pounds of chicken, poultry, fish 1,783, and tofu 996 pounds. So we move a lot of product through the operation, and I just want to kind of give you an order of magnitude. So we kind of have a food service here that would really serve well on a larger campus. I think we have a food service that basically, we have a food service for a large campus that's on a small campus, but I think it's the most cost-effective way to do it with the warehouse and the bakery and a lot of the central production and delivery that we do. I'm going to stop there for a minute in case somebody has questions about any of the stuff I just talked about. I know that, Jim, when you and I were communicating back and forth about when I could come, I know there's some things that you had written in your email about some of the things that you had noted that were questions or concerns that students had brought to your attention. And one of those, and I know I'd recently gotten an inquiry about it, was what we do about special diets, gluten-free products. And it is on our website, but I just wanted you to know what we do. Right now, we are currently helping at least 25 students with their special diets, most of which are gluten-free. And if you know of someone who has a gluten-free or has celiac disease, please have them contact the Dining Services Office. And the process is pretty simple. They make an appointment with Katie Gay, who's our menu coordinator. Katie talks with the student, figures out basically what her needs are, and if in fact we can accommodate those needs. That particular need needs to be registered with Elizabeth Hogan for accommodation, and we will figure out, typically we assign a student to a dining hall, because that way that food is sent there, anything that's specially needed for that particular student is sent there, and they work with the staff. And once that student becomes more familiar with the kinds of things we have to offer on our regular menus, you can see it in our nutritional analysis. It does identify allergens that then they feel more comfortable going to other dining halls outside of what's being specially prepared for them. So I would encourage anyone that you know of to contact our office, and we can appropriately direct them, or direct them to our website as well. Yes, Brandy?
I know you have to have a completely different facility to cook gluten-free products, especially breads and such. Do we have that? How is it?
We purchase gluten-free breads.
Okay,
we
so
will purchase products. Oh no, we could never pretend to be a gluten-free facility. Absolutely not.
I thought I was just making sure.
No, absolutely not. So we have, depending on what's going on, and that's why we like to assign students to probably the same location, because you could then have gluten-free pasta. You know, we have gluten-free marinara sauce, and there's a whole slew of cereals, you name it, that we have purchased.
Thanks.
Is there a way for the residence halls that don't have dining? For example, 18 to 7, we just have the continental breakfast.
Yes.
Is there a way to get gluten-free breakfast items?
Yes.
And would you have to go to a separate dining hall to get them? Or
I would assume, no, because what we've done, and I'm not sure, I know we've done this in some of the other continental breakfast centers, because it's usually gluten-free cereal and bread. And we can typically provide that to a student. They just need to let us know, or let the Continental Breakfast Monitor know, or contact our office and just ask. We can provide that. And then that student or students would need to know where to find that product so that it's not used by others. But that's very simple to do.
Bill, whenever you're ready to do question and answer, I would like to come up there just to make it easier
absolutely.
for you.
That's fine.
That way you can just focus on answering the questions.
Okay.
Not having to feel...
But I'll yes.
I know that you do a good job with gluten-free items and nut allergies and stuff, but I haven't noticed too much of, I know I have an allergy to sulfur, and it hasn't been too much of an issue, but I haven't noticed any warnings about that.
I think the most common allergens, and sulfur is not one of them, but I think if it's a matter of knowing how to identify where to find that information, that's what I would encourage you to do, because that is the first time I've heard that someone has a sulfur allergy. So I would encourage you to contact Katie Gates is at extension 2100. If you do have questions, I would encourage you to do that.
Chair Pulse.
Hey, I think the food is great. No, it's true. But one of my main questions is I live in Buckland, and on the weekend, Buckland and the Rockies is closed for dining, but yet Ham and McGregor are both open and on the opposite side of campus. And I was curious why you guys chose to keep the open dining halls more to like the other side of campus and not choose to open the Rockies or Buckland, for example, on the weekends to serve meals. This goes back to oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of how many years ago we consolidated. And it was interesting.
1999, right?
Was it 99? It's been a long time. And what was interesting, what was initially proposed, because Abbey at that time was a luncheon center. So that means we served 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. We were not getting the participation. And obviously, having all the dining halls that you now reside in, or residents all have kitchens, all have dining halls, was not a cost-effective way to do business. So there was some consolidation process. In that process, we were looking at completely closing Abbey so that Rocky would have been open 7 days a week. But students said, can't we do a compromise? Because they wanted Abbey to be open for Sunday brunch. So that was the compromise. So we share staff at Rocky on Sundays.
Okay.
So we can't do both.
Okay.
That's why. So essentially, it's Saturday only, because Sunday they're open for breakfast and brunch. So the compromise was the Saturday that would not be open in either location.
Okay.
And we couldn't close Wilder because of the kosher halal dining for the weekend.
Okay.
And Prospect had certainly the showcase and the seats. And then Ham McGregor on this side of campus also, because of just the large dining hall closest to the athletic facility, because they do handle the bag lunches and all the athletic meals.
Right.
So that's how it came to be.
Great.
Thanks for the question.
Dickinson B.
I have two questions. First, I'm new this year and I'm in Dickinson, and I was just wondering why we don't get continental breakfast. I'm just curious.